How internet advertisements are tailored to you. A real-life example of this was, the other day I got one of my normal emails about a sale online because you can sign up for those emails and you're on a subscription list, so they send them whenever there's information about the company. I casually clicked on the page in the email and was looking around to see if I liked anything. I was on the site for maybe 10 minutes before I put my phone down for about 2. I turned to say something to my dad about how I was shopping and looking to see what they have just because it was Tuesday of that week and Thanksgiving was coming up, Black Friday was coming up, so all these sales were just coming. So I wanted to see what they were offering. When I picked my phone back up though, there was an email in my inbox from the site that I was looking at. I opened the email and it read, "We saw you've been browsing, here's what you might like." Seeing this really scared me because I never realized how closely what we do on our phones is monitored. The ads that we see all over our social media are tailored to exactly what we might like, which is what I'm going to discuss in this PowerPoint today. Eyes in the shadows are the names that they call when the companies are watching you and watching your moves. So technology is really good at following what we're doing from site to site. Your information is kept under a pseudonymous number where they track when you leave, when you come back, what you click on, things like that. The most important thing that these companies look through is your search history. These are used to categorize your behavior, sort of like what they do when they do marketing, when they look at, oh, this is what these people have been buying recently. It's the same thing. An example of this is in 2012, research showed that Mac users were being shown pricier hotel options than PC users. Why, you might ask? Because they had the means to buy their Mac instead of a PC, so companies automatically think that they'll spend more for a hotel room. How do they track us? Tracking is completely invisible to someone like you or me who's going about our daily lives on our phone. We go through so many sites a day, we click on so many posts, and you never know that anyone's watching you until you see the ad pop up on your phone that's something that you were just looking for. Canvas fingerprinting is when a website can find the fingerprint of our device so it knows when you come back. This is super helpful when storing your activities to your individual number because the sites can then track your individual IP of your computer or your cell phone and put them into your file. Cookies. Now, I had no idea what allowing a cookie on my browser was doing, but it's letting them see my information, which is something I did not know. So cookie syncing allows entities who are tracking your information to share the information so that multiple sites can come together and create a bigger file on you. These companies then share and compare all the notes that they've taken on you to see what they have, and if it matches up or correlates in certain ways, then they know for sure that you are looking at this item and it's something that you might like. Through the use of super cookies, advertisers can then tell when your phone and laptop are traveling together, so they can tailor both advertisements on both devices. So this works how when your computer and iPhone happen to be hooked up, or any phone, happen to be hooked up to the same Wi-Fi, they can see where the phone and device go all the time, and they notice a similar traveling pattern with the two, so then they realize that the computer and the phone have to be used by the same person, so they take both files of devices of information on the two that they found, they compress them into one and make one huge file about what you've been doing. This is all used for target advertisements. The whole point of creating these massive files on everything we do is for one common end goal. Companies want to target advertise to you, someone who, through extreme detailed watching and tracking, they know exactly what you're looking for. If you're working for a company, you wouldn't want your money for advertisements to just go out to a mailing list of thousands of people. It makes much more sense for you to have the research done to figure out who is most interested in your products so that they're the ones who see your ads and you're more likely to get customers to come to your sites. An example of this is back in the 1990s, before they had the means to get this in-depth on a person's search history, companies used target marketing to research the most amount of consumers. So since fly fishing shows showcased rods and trips to Alaska, their sites would advertise the same thing as well. So the big question comes down to this: is custom advertising an invasion of privacy? The biggest fear to people out there is that this information could hold things like your name, your address, phone number, etc., which if your browsing history is tied to that, would you really like that out there for the world to see everything that you've been searching through and clicking on? The argument on the other side is that the money that sites make letting these people track you from the advertisements that they then place on their sites or allowing you to visit those sites for free. Another thing just to keep in mind is that if you're really against having what you do tracked, you can always turn off your cookies, which will then limit what these researchers have access to seeing.